Hi, Heron Michelle here from the Sojourner Whole Earth Provisions in Greenville, North Carolina, here to show you my latest project for Lunar Magic, soon to be available off of our e-commerce website for you to purchase and to make use of. Also going to be featured in my upcoming book, Lunar Witchcraft. Today I'm going to show you how I'm making my Lunar Pairing candle for Aries and Libra and how to use this image. This is some of my original art that is full of occult imagery and symbolism that goes with this auspicious time. Whenever the sun is in Aries, the moon that is full will be in Libra. This is always the pairing. If you look across the wheel of the year, if you can imagine the zodiac wheel around, as our view of the stars around the earth, whenever the sun is in Aries, you look to the opposite side of the zodiac and you'll find that it's always in Libra. Why is the full moon always paired that way? Because the reason the moon is full is because it's exactly the opposite side of the earth, and therefore we can see the wholeness of the moon because it's on the opposite side. That's why they call it opposition in astrology. The moon is in opposition to the sun, which means that they'll be opposite each other. However, when the moon is dark, what some folks call new and I call dark. When the moon is dark, it is an exact conjunction. That means that the moon will be in the exact same sign and in the position as the sun. They are conjunct. And so whenever the sun is in Aries, the full moon will be in the opposite sign, Libra, and the dark moon will be in Aries. So during that time of year, when we have the cardinal spring sign, cardinal begins the season of spring, we are paired with Libra, which is the cardinal autumn sign. So we have the imagery here for that time of year when you're doing that lunar work. And we have the ram of Aries, which is ruled by Mars. And then up in this top quadrant, I tried to show the relationship of fire and air. In this case, it's the beginning. It's a small new flame, showing how it both illuminates the atmosphere around it, but is also consuming it. That was how I tried to show that relationship between fire and air here on the Aries side of the panel. On the Libra side of the panel, which would be the flip side of the year, whenever the sun is in Libra, an air sign, cardinal autumn. So the sun here shows that it's in Libra. The full moon, also known as the blood moon, will be in Aries. That's the flip side of the wheel, right? It shows the exact same pairing, however flipped. The sun and the moon in the opposite signs. And at the dark moon, of course, it'll be back in Libra again. Here we have an image of the scales. Libra very much about the scales of justice, the air sign there. And also the weight between, the heart and the feather, that old imagery. But it is ruled by Venus. And so when the moon is full in Libra, we call that the blood moon because it's in Aries. When the moon is full in Aries, we call that the wind moon because the wind is blowing at that time, and it references that airy Libra energy coming in. So this is my lunar pairing image, my artwork, which I then had made into a sticker. I divided it into two panels because I wanted to be able to make one candle to work the same lunar solar energy, but from the flip side. So it's a 2-for-1 candle. You dress one for whenever the sun is in Aries and you have this lunation with the wind moon, and you can then turn the candle around for when it's on Libra side and you have the blood moon in Aries. So this is what it looks like when it's on the candle. When I'm working that Aries magic, I turn this part to face me, and then I do my lunar work there. Flip side of the year comes around, I turn my candle around, and now I have the Libra side facing me for that blood moon. The beauty of this is that however I would dress one candle is exactly how I would dress the other candle. And so we can just do one candle and keep it. So for the 12 primary lunations of the year, we can have 6 candles ready to go at all times. Now, why is it okay that I'm going to be dressing this candle today when my moon and sun aren't in the perfect spot right now? Because I need to do this in advance. The beauty of this is, especially if you've read my book, Elemental Witchcraft, and we're going to use the materials that all the formulary recipes are in that book today, is that when you create your formulary materials on the auspicious times, the perfect times for those materials, that energy is then encapsulated in the blend. Same thing with the oil. I have made a air oil and air incense, which have so many things that are appropriate for air and Libra and all of that good stuff in there. And it's already encapsulated that energy. Also, I have my fire incense and my fire oil. Those were created on the perfect days for those to be made, and that energy is encapsulated in those blends. Then by the law of contagion, after I add those herbal and oil blends to the candle, that particular fiery energy would then be transferred to the wholeness of the candle. That's the beauty of this kind of magic when done by auspicious timing. So I'd like to demonstrate for you now how I'm about to make, charge, and bless all of these candles that I will soon make available for people to enjoy, to purchase and enjoy through the Sojo website. All right, first thing, stickers, so handy. These happen to be translucent stickers. So you just got to peel a little bit back. Ta-da, see, sort of translucenty. They're also the kind of stickers you can peel off, use elsewhere, reposition if necessary. The way that I get them straight is that on any glass candle, this is a 7-day sanctuary candle, and I chose white because white is that good all-purpose color, but also very much a lunar color, and this is for the lunar work we'll be doing. But there is a seam. You'll be able to feel it with your finger if ever you're adding a sticker to a candle, but also I can see it just in the glint. So I'm going to add this sticker. This right here is the true mystery work of witchcraft. How to get a sticker on your candle straight. This is the artwork that I made, but you could also make your own artwork and dress your own candles this way with what is symbolically important for you. Lines up. Okay, Libra on one side, Aries on the other. We have a Libra lunation cycle coming up, and then just roll it around the candle. Sun's currently in Virgo, but as soon as we pass past the autumnal equinox, it'll be in Libra, and we'll be preparing for the blood moon. Also, something to note about these images is that depending on the year, the dark moon may come first, or the full moon may come first. I call this full moon led and this dark moon led, depending on the year. And it does rotate because every time we have a blue moon, the 13th of extra moon in a year, because there was an extra moon in a sign, that's the blue moon. If there's an extra dark moon in a sign, that's called a black moon. And those 3 moon pairings switch the order of leadership. So depending on the year, you might celebrate the dark moon first, or you might celebrate the full moon first. Okay, now that I have my candle wrap on, what do? Well, there's a number of things. See, it's just empty right now. What I like to do, boring holes into that. I'm kind of injecting my will into the wax. I'm also going to make sure that everything that we add is below that line so that as we light the candle, there's nothing flammable just sitting on top to accidentally light. You want to light the wick, let the wick melt the wax. The wax then heats all the other elements within the candle. So first thing I do, I'm going to bore 3 holes. 3 is the lunar number. I'm going to bore 1 for Aries, 1 for Libra, and 1 for the moon because I have just some regular old lunar oil and a stone all ready to go. And I'm going to have load each one of those holes for one of these aspects. I'm going to go here on the Libra side, and I'm just going to twist out the wax like I'm screwing in a screw. Makes a nice big fat hole. Another thing you're going to want nearby, if you ever do this for yourself, is some sort of little vessel so you can dump out the wax savings. You're going to put those back in. Definitely want to keep those for later. All right, now I'm going to bore out a hole for the Aries side. Make sure not to bore into the glass. That'll break the glass. Tricky business. I don't have to go too deep. I'm not going to put too much in there. Doesn't take much. That's the beauty of it. That law of contagion, you just need a little bit. It'll spread to the whole candle. Beware all those candles for sale that you might see on Instagram or, you know, on the internet somewhere where somebody's got it so loaded that you can't even see the wax anymore and it's just a fire hazard. Okay, so you see now I've got 3 holes. Now, because I've already created my incense blends and all that magic, Now all I have to do is add a little bit. It doesn't take much. So I'm going to take a little bit of my air incense already prepared for Libra. I'm going to put that down in the air hole. And now I'm going to take just a little bit of my fire incense prepared for Aries and Mars. Put that down in the Aries hole. Then I'm going to add, for my lunar one, I'm just going to put in a stone chip. So guys, I'm sorry, I should say, these are rainbow moonstone. I'll put in a stone chip. And I'm going to put in a dropper of my already prepared full moon oil. 1, 2, 3 drops of my lunar oil in just the full moon hole. For my Aries, I'm going to add a little bit of garnet dust. So I'll put a little bit of that in there. Actually, I'm going to use my spoon. I don't want to put too much. Doesn't take much. And the beauty of this stuff is that it's already dust. And I'm going to add 1 little citrine chip for the air. Now this is another piece of sacred equipment, much like a wand, my sacred chopstick. I'm going to sort of poke it down in the holes, get it in there. All right. It's okay if the little bits are on top. You just don't want giant chunks. Okay. Now, 3 drops of the air oil in my Libra hole. 1, 2, 3. And 3 drops of the fire oil in the fire hole. In the fire hole. 1, 2, 3. We now have 9 drops of oil, don't we? Isn't that convenient? 3 by 3, 9, very lunar. Now here's a special trick. So I chose a white candle because that's just a standard all-purpose lunar color. I happen to have some of this really good stuff here. Let's see. This is called Watkins Assorted Food Colors, no artificial dyes. It's all vegetable based for if you want to do some really good healthy cooking, but you want your baked goods to have some pretty colors. I'm going to put a drop or 2 of red food coloring down into the Aries hole. And a couple drops of the yellow into the Libra. And when the wax melts, you're going to get some nice swirls, and eventually it'll be orange, which is so perfect for the blending of fire and air. Okay, now that I have got my oils and my stones and my incense, my plant friends in there, I'm going to add those wax shreds back. Because we don't need to waste that, do we? I'll take my chopstick, just kind of jab it in. They can sit on top and look a little bit like coconut shreds or something. Next important thing, before you light a candle like this, you see this giant wick sticking up. You want to trim that to about 1/4 inch, and then it'll be ready to go. So that's how I loaded the candle. I've got about a dozen more to load, and then I'll show you how I'm going to charge them. Charge and bless these candles. I like to do that with witches' charms of making. In the Breed of the Wicked says to set the spell every time, best that it be spake in rhyme. So I like to do rhyming couplets. Of course, I've got a background in poetry, and that amuses me. I like to repeat the charm a couple of times and build power. I always begin with a deep breath. I remember how my branches and my roots, like a great world tree, connect on all the worlds, to all the elements, to Goddess and God, and all the beyond, the within, above and below, within, without, macrocosm to microcosm. And I picture the fires of Aries, and I picture the winds of Libra. I connect to the fires of the sun, and I connect to the air of the atmosphere. So here's my charm of making for now. Sun in Aries, Mars commands, cardinal swings to spring's demands, dark Aries moon, full Libra wind, spark of self, justice defend. Sun in Libra, Venus reigns, cardinal sings of autumn's pains, full Aries blood, dark Libra moon, balanced in beauty, with others commune. Sun in Aries, Mars commands, cardinal swings to spring's demands, dark Aries moon, full Libra wind, spark of self, justice defend. Sun in Libra, Venus reigns, cardinal sings of autumn's pains, full Aries blood, dark Libra moon, balanced in beauty, with others commune. Sun in Aries, Mars commands, cardinal swings to spring's demands, dark Aries moon, full Libra wind, spark of self, justice defend. Sun in Libra, Venus reigns, cardinal sings